I didn't get a 99.95, and my UCAT was only 2650. That is a 60th percentile mark. But today, I'm a second year medical student at the University of Sydney. How did I get in without a 99.95? And more importantly, can you also get into med if you didn't do well in your Year 12 exams and UCAT? The answer is absolutely, and it's via postgraduate entry and GAMSAT. First of all, what is postgraduate entry? Postgraduate entry is actually how medicine was originally designed to be entered. So what you typically would do is a 3-year undergraduate degree. That's like a Bachelor's of Science, Bachelor's of Engineering, Bachelor's of Commerce. And then after that, you would do postgraduate medicine, which is typically 4 years. And the way that you get into postgraduate medicine is to have a look at your GPA, which is like your marks during your undergraduate. Typically that's not too hard to maintain. And the really big one, especially for UCID, is your GAMSAT. So what is the GAMSAT? The GAMSAT is very much like the UCAT. So it's an exam that you do to get into med. And it consists of 3 sections. Section 1 is reading, Section 2 is writing essays, and Section 3 is science. I personally did the GAMSAT to get into UCID, and I think I did relatively well. I only had to do it once. I got into UCID on my first try. I got a 82 overall, which I think places me in the 99th percentile, and I got a 70, 73, 93 breakdown for Section 1, 2, and 3 respectively. Now, a question that I get asked often is, okay, so what exactly is in the GAMSAT? So to break it down for you, Section 1, 2, and 3 are all going to count towards your final score. But Section 3, which is a science exam, content-based science exam, is worth 50% of your marks, whereas Section 1 and Section 2 are each worth 25%. So it's definitely more of a science exam. Interestingly, when it comes to Section 1, it's a reading comprehension exam. You might have done one of these in your OC or your selective tests. And it's not too difficult. Section 2 is where you write 2 essays. The first one is persuasive in nature, so arguing whether this law is good or bad, or you should implement this change or not. And the second essay is something a bit more personal, a bit more discursive, like you would do in what you'll see in Year 12. So for example, like the nature of justice, your feelings towards injustice or love, something like that. And Section 3, the most important of the 3, is a science exam. It's on physics, chemistry, and biology. Physics you'll need to know to a high school level, and chemistry and biology you need to know to a first year uni level. Now, do you need to do a medical degree, for example, Bachelor's of Medical Science, to do the GAMSAT? No. Some of my colleagues in the UCID Med right now came from Bachelor's of Engineering, Bachelor's of Commerce, so no biomedical background at all. I personally did a Bachelor's of Medical Science at Griffith University and then came to do the GAMSAT. I will say that having studied chemistry and biology at uni definitely helped me because I knew more of the concepts and it wasn't so foreign. But you can definitely do well in the GAMSAT even without having done a biomedical degree. Now, another question that I often get asked is the GAMSAT harder than the UCAT? Now, different people will say different things. My personal opinion is that the GAMSAT is easier than the UCAT. And there's a couple of reasons for this, right? First of all, the kind of issue with UCAT is that it's kind of like an IQ test, right? So if you're very smart and you're good at recognizing patterns, you're going to smash AR, smash all the other sections, right? If you're a bit slower like myself, you're going to find that a content-based exam like the GAMSAT, where you have to study particular concepts in like science, you're going to find that it works to your advantage because you have more time to prepare and you can go in there feeling quite confident. Another reason why I say that the GAMSAT's a bit easier is because the competition is less intense. The cream of the crop has been scraped away from the undergraduate entry into UNSW, Western Sydney, that kind of thing. So now you're left with not bad people, but they're just not quite the same competitiveness as with the undergraduate. So if you are determined, you'll definitely get in. The only reason why I see people not doing well in the GAMSAT generally is because they are distracted. They're distracted by work, they're distracted by relationships, which is fine. But if you are very determined and ambitious to do medicine and you can study for the GAMSAT a lot, you won't really find that you have any problems with it. As long as you put the effort in, you realistically should be able to get in. Another question that I get asked is, how should I study for the GAMSAT? Now it's a bit of a tricky one. There's plenty of companies out there that sell GAMSAT materials. I said that probably the first and most important thing is that you do need to know content for section 1, 2, and 3. For section 3, sorry. Now, having said that, in the more modern GAMSATs, so I saw that as I was sitting my one, it kind of moved away from like you have to know, let's say, a particular concept in physics, a particular concept in biology. They actually will give you kind of a description of how that concept works in the STEM itself. However, you are going to be at an advantage if you already know that concept. So even though you don't technically have to study all the content, you're going to be at an advantage if you do study the physics, chemistry, and biology content. Now, where do you get this? You can actually get it all for free, to be honest. There's videos online on the TutorGum YouTube page that covers these concepts. And also Khan Academy is something that I use a lot, very, very useful. Just knowing the concepts is not going to be enough, you definitely need to practice. For the practice, there are official GAMSAT papers that are practice papers that are released by ASA. But I also used Des O'Neill, which is a textbook of questions that I found quite useful. They're quite challenging. They did feel a bit quite like the actual GAMSAT questions. I think Des O'Neill, the company that makes them, is now defunct. So I think you have to either get a PDF copy online or you have to buy a second-hand copy. But I found that was how I prepared. And to leave you with the kind of concluding thoughts on this, I didn't do very well in my UCAT, but I did do much better in my GAMSAT, right? I moved from a 60th percentile in my UCAT to a 99th percentile in my GAMSAT. It's not because I got much smarter. It's because that the different kind of style exam, if you didn't do very well in the UCAT, it might just be that you're better suited to this kind of GAMSAT style of entry. It's not an IQ test anymore, it's a test of your perseverance and your determination. And so I didn't actually have to study even that much for it. I only studied, having said that, I already learned all the physics, chemistry, biology in uni and high school, but I only had to study for about 1.5 months full-time before my exam date. And I got in first try, I got a 99th percentile. So I don't realistically think it's actually that difficult to get in if you are determined. If you are determined and you have that spirit, I think you definitely can get in. Now, if you have any questions, any other questions for me, please leave them down in the comments or contact me. I'd be very happy to answer them or help you out. Thank you so much for your time today, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye. We offer physics, chemistry, and math tutoring. For more insightful explanations like this one, head to tutorgum.com.